owns and controls those roads. And the county has very little say over those roads. But in practice, and we even had a lawsuit, which Wilson will remember. I think it was started right before we became commissioners. And the county lost the lawsuit, and the lawsuit was over who owned the intersections. In other words, could the county control the intersections? And I think it had to do with Lions Creek Road. And the ruling from the state was, from the courts were no, we don't have control over the intersection, state highway does. But in reality, they work with us. So there's money in the budget every year for sidewalks. None of that money has been spent in Huntingtown. They keep deferring it because nobody has any idea where the roads are going to go. State Highway did a study, and they spent a little under $500,000 trying to find a way to extend the road network in Huntingtown and not destroy the businesses that exist in Huntingtown. And they could not find a way. And the reason they couldn't is as soon as you get off Route 4, you are into ravines and wetlands. So if you stop and think about it, if Huntingtown High School, right past Huntingtown High School, there's a few houses, and then what? Ravines. If you go the other way, we have Hunting Creek Road, we've got Bowie Shop Road, we've got Lower Marlboro Road. But in between here and there are ravines and wetlands. And I had an aerial photo, which I couldn't find, but I think I gave it to Gordon Bowen, who wasn't able to be here tonight, but he's going to look at the video. But I'll get another copy of it. And you can see, and I have the report from the state highway here, you can see that there's no way to connect things. The only solution, state highway, and there was a committee, and we have Don, Louisa, stand up Don. Who else is here that was on that committee? Daryl Hatcher was on it. I think Dale Bowen was on it. So that committee was supposed to be advising. They advised state highway. And you can talk to Dawn later, and she'll tell you, she's shaking her head, because it was the same problem. The only solution they could come up with was making a triangle which would encompass Thanksgiving Lane, 524 from Bowen's Grocery to where Thanksgiving Lane comes in. And so it would be a triangle, and each of those roads would be 2 lanes like they are now, but they'd be one way. So if you wanted to go to Bowen's Grocery Store from west of here, or from west of Bowen's Grocery Store, you would have to turn on Thanksgiving Lane and then make a left turn in front of Calvert Auto, and then make another turn into Bowen's Grocery Store. So that triangle would become like a circle. Well, the problem is that Mr. Bresnahan, who owns Calvert Auto, also owns Thanksgiving Lane. And he was very, very opposed to that. But anything else that they would do would require that businesses be wiped out. So what's happened is virtually nothing has gotten built or expanded. Emmanuel Baptist Church has not been able to expand. Carriage Crossing was delayed for years. which is a new little housing development, because nobody knew where the roads were going to go. And that's where we're at right now. No one has agreed about what to do with the roads. Mr. Douglas Smith, who's the State Director of Planning for the State Highway Administration, told me he has worked all over the state for 20 years and he never, ever, ever saw such an intractable situation. He said, if you want to keep what's already there, then you've got to stick with the roads you've got. And the only way to do that would be something like that traffic triangle. The problem was we never in 1993 had any idea how much construction would occur west of here. And all those houses have to get out to Route 4. And how do you do it? Lower Marlboro Road, Hunting Creek Road, or Bowie Shock Road. And there's no other way. So my big idea is to have Huntingtown be a rural village instead of a town center. That would get us out of the town center zoning regulations, which again have brought us to a standstill because what do we do about the roads? How many of you would like to see townhouses or multifamily homes in Huntingtown? Nobody. How many of you would like to see the businesses that we have come to appreciate in Huntingtown have to be raised in order to widen the roads? Nobody. But there's no place to put new roads. Route 4 is going to be widened to 6 lanes. It will be widened to 6 lanes, but that's not going to help with downtown Huntingtown. You know that 1 lane was already added at Cox Road and Route 4, and there's a plan to add another lane to Cox Road and Route 4 from the west side of Huntingtown. But what do you do on the east side? We looked at that, and it's virtually impossible. So a rural village would look a lot more like what we already have. And I think the county commissioners, and I'm stepping way out here because I have not talked to them about this yet, because for me to talk to them means nothing. For the community to step up and say, we don't want Huntingtown to be a town center, we want it to be a rural village, is something that carries, oh, I'm so sorry, that carries some weight. Oh, shoot. So because there is nothing like a rural village in the zoning ordinance right now or in the comprehensive plan, and that started, a consultant has been hired, and the way they're going to handle it is there's going to be a committee of 25 people from all walks of life, from all over the county, that will be advising the county commissioners and the Department of Community Planning and Building on the update to the comprehensive plan. So it's a perfect time for us to step up and say, we don't want Huntingtown to be a town center, we want it to be a rural village. And this is how we want it to look. So I've talked a long time, and I want to open it up now for discussion and questions. And I provided a lot of information in a very short amount of time, so I think there's going to be quite a few questions. And I'm just going to repeat the question, if you don't mind.
Who decided?
Would you tell us who your name is?
Oh, my name's Andrea.
Andrea
Hurley. This is my husband, Mark.
Okay.
Who decided to make Huntingtown a town center?
It was Huntington, when the original town center concept came into being, which was in 1974, 4 in the Pleasant Peninsula plan. I'm looking at Wilson, he'll correct me if I make a mistake. Again, the county was looking ahead, and rather than have construction strung all up and down Route 4, the county designated major town centers and minor town centers at that time. Huntingtown was a minor town center, along with Lusby, Owings, St. Leonard, and the major town centers were Prince Frederick and Solomons, and Dunkirk was minor. Dunkirk is different because Dunkirk is a commercial town center. There are only 3 residences in the entire town center of Dunkirk. It's all businesses. So Solomons, Lusby, and Prince Frederick can have big box stores. They can have a lot of things as major town centers. The minor town centers, the largest business is supposed to be 25,000 square feet. That's still very large. That is, what would be something that's 1/3 the size of the Dunkirk Walmart. Okay, because the Dunkirk Walmart is 70,000 square feet. So that was when it was originally designated. And at that time, go ahead.
Just to add,
Here, let me get this.
the concept with and this was long before Sue